All right, the Knicks beat the Nets 124-122. God. Jalen Brunson, 37 points, 7 assists. OG Anunoby, 28 points, 8 rebounds. Mikal Bridges against his former team, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Cam Thomas, 43 points on 7 3-pointers. Dorian Finney-Smith with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and he started some-ish with OG Anunoby.
He didn't start anything. OG caused it.
No, he did. No.
Let's be very clear.
No.
Get out the bias.
That's not the bias.
Get out the bias.
OG, a defensive. You're acting like OG like purposely shoved him or pushed him. It was a basketball play.
Okay,
it was a basketball play.
And he kept pushing him, so he pushed him off him.
Didn't.
And so, I'm not doing this with you. I'm not doing this with you because I know you watched. I know you watched it on the MSG broadcast, and they were like, "Oh my God, look at what DFS is doing. He's being so good." On my side, they're like,
Clyde probably rhymed some. Clyde probably rhymed 2 big words that I didn't pay attention to.
Exactly. On my side, they were like, OG's being unnecessary. He didn't need to do that, and DFS was reacting.
Stop it! No, were they really?
No, because the whole thing is that DFS never reacts to anything. Like he's never the type to like.
Neither does OG.
Exactly. So for that to happen, it's OG's fault.
It's not. We'll see. We're not gonna spend the whole. This is a game repack. Not.
The recap is gonna be me and you talking about DFS and OG.
Yeah, that's the whole. Listen, as a Knicks fan, disappointed that they blew a 21-point lead, almost lost at the buzzer to the Brooklyn Nets. Horrible fourth quarter. Couldn't stop Cam Thomas. I mean, Cam Thomas, by the way, shout out to him because he takes the worst shots I've ever seen, but he hits them. Like horrible shot selection, awful shot selection, but he makes them in. He would drive me crazy if he was on my favorite team, but he's obviously very talented. I can't take that away from him. He had a great game, 43 points, 7 3-pointers. I think 5 of those 3-pointers came in the first quarter. This game there was so much to take away from this game. It's like so many good things. Huck Porty, man, huge Huck Porty fan. I think eventually he's going to be the backup center for the Knicks, once he gets his feet wet and more minutes underneath him. I thought Cole came in the first half and gave some good minutes. He played good defensively. I mean, that's not what he's known for, but I thought he played solid defense. Dadier, same thing. He hit a 3, played well. Tibbs going to the bench. Thank you, finally. Thank you.
Because he had to. That's
but still, he was listen. Tibbs would have played 6 if he could. Like, let's come on. We know him. OG Anunoby didn't really shoot the 3 well, but I thought he continues to be the best player that the Knicks have had all year. Jalen played well for the most part. I have some things that I would critique here and there, but nobody's perfect. Mikal Bridges, nice game. Midi was working. Nice game. And they win a game without Deuce, and they win a game without Cat. So at the end of the day, a W is a W. But blowing a 21-point lead like that to the Nets. Kwab, what do you think? Come on. Well, from a Nets stand perspective, give it to me.
First of all, I knew the Nets were going to come back. I wasn't really shocked.
Okay, yeah.
I wasn't. By the way,
I mean, they played everyone close this year. It's not a
exactly, and that's
not a new thing.
That's how it's been happening every time. Teams will feel like they have a lead and they kind of relax, and that's what usually happens. We had a discussion earlier on an earlier episode when you asked me if I actually believed the Nets could actually beat the Nets, and I was like, if the Nets could actually beat the Knicks. And I said yes because you guys let Bennington Mathurin score 33 points, and Cam is going to go off. I said that. It's on record. I
agreed with you, though. I did agree with you on that. Right. I did. I didn't deny that. I was like, yeah, you're right.
And my main reason behind that is because this whole season, you guys have been playing that drop coverage with Cat. So, and when I was actually excited about that, I was like, okay, Cat's going to play. You guys going to be in the drop coverage, and that's going to allow like players like Cam and Dennis to kind of get like a couple of points and easy and just get in the feel of things. Yeah. And then Cat was down, which I hate. I hate players being hurt. Cat being down. Deuce also actually they said he's sick, so he was out, and that's 2 key players in your rotation. And then on the net side, Claxton is going to be out for I guess a while because he has to deal with a back then. So like I'm like, okay, well that sucks because the offense actually he's the hub in the offense where the passes and the screens go through him, and that usually causes a lot of the open shots for the team. So going into it, I wasn't as excited as I was beforehand. But then Cam Thomas was like, "Shut up, Kwab. I'm Cam Thomas. This is what I do."
I love it.
This is what I do.
And
go ahead.
And the shots he hit, man, they were tough shots. And that's the thing. It's funny because the shots that they were hitting in the first quarter, particularly Cam, were like in your face, just off the dribble, just I'm Cam Thomas, you can't stop me type shots. And then even in the second quarter, I mean, the Nets went cold, but they were still getting good shots. They were just missing them.
Yeah,
You know,
Cam Johnson was so he hasn't been this cold this season, and it wasn't even
yeah.
it wasn't even because of like defense. He was missing wide open shots, which was shocking. But like you said, to Tip's credit, he played a lot more of the bench. Campaign hit a bunch of big shots for you guys.
Campaign, campaign, he's wild,
He's
bro.
wild. He's a wild boy. He's a wild boy.
We up 2 with 30 seconds left, and he's like, my time to
It's
shine.
my time to go crazy.
My time.
But he hit
3 off the dribble.
He hit some big shots.
He did, but he also missed some big shots
he
too.
did.
I was just like, please stop shooting, Cam.
I mean, you've been saying I don't want to pronounce his name for me. Hukporti.
Hukporti.
You've been saying this for a while since the earlier games. You said you see him as being the backup, the future backup of the team because you just like his
Bro,
game.
I have a wild jumping out the window take about him. I think he has a higher ceiling than Mitch.
I know you said that. I remember you told me that. I was shocked
just
about that.
strictly because of his offensive ability. He doesn't. Mitch doesn't have any offensive ability. Obviously, Mitch is a better defender right now. Hukporti gets lost here and there. I mean, when I say lost, he gets lost. He protects the rim very well, but he's still not good in the pick and roll. Help situations. Sometimes he gets lost. So he has a lot of work to do there, and Mitch is one of the best defenders in the league, point blank, period. So obviously he's not there yet, but the potential's there. The rim protection's there, which Tibbs loves. If he just can kind of, find himself on the defensive end, mixed with how he can finish at the rim and his little baby hook. Come on now.
I was about to make.
Come on now.
I mean, you said it.
Come on now.
You're jumping out the window. Take. I was about to say you're saying he has a higher potential offensively.
Well,
than
he
Mitch.
does, but I tested this out with Twitter, and people are like, chill.
Yeah.
They're like he's better than Jericho Sims right now, but let's not go to Mitch. But I'm like, offensively, I mean, he's already better than Mitch, right?
I was gonna say, have you seen Mitch's summer workout tapes?
Oh my God, yeah. When he be tearing them 14-year-olds up, I don't understand why he doesn't bring that to Madison Square Garden on Friday nights.
He looks like KD out there.
Yeah, he does look like KD. So I mean, he's not there yet. I'm not advocating for the Knicks like trade Mitch right away. We got our guy. Like, no, I'm not saying do that, but I do think, if I'm Leon Rose, I'm looking at this like, hey, we might have something here.
Yeah.
We might have something here. Then I don't know. He's young, obviously, so he hasn't been in the league as much as Mitch. Mitch's injury history is a concern. I would not mind in a year or two if the Knicks are just. I mean, Mitch's contract too. I think it's an asset right now that they might be looking to trade. It wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me. The problem is they don't really have another option, and Hukporti would have to be what Mitch is defensively this year, and he's not that. So I would rather Mitch starting when he gets back, Mitch being the primary center that we go to in crunch time or whenever we need defense. Perfectly fine with Mitch anchoring the first unit this year, but later down the road, I don't know, man.
I could see that because I barely remember Jericho Sims in the game. Like, barely.
Yeah, actually, Jericho didn't play bad. Jericho's been playing better lately. He's just, it's so weird for someone who jumps as high as he does. Like, the fact that he doesn't grab more boards or dunk on more people or, block more shots it's wild to me. He just doesn't have, like, I'll go to iHeart. iHeart, it's not on the team anymore, but iHeart just had this psychotic, like, I got to get the ball. And the Knicks don't really have much of that this year so far. Even though today I think they did a great job. I know at one point they had 15-5 second chance points in the first half. And I think they did a good job on the boards today. But overall, it just hasn't been the same, which a lot of Knicks fans were worried about, the identity. Yeah. But overall, man, I would have been, if they just would have kept the lead in the fourth quarter, I'd have been like, solid win. Underman against a feisty Nets team. You win by 15, 20, whatever it would have been. Solid win.
Y'all should have lost this game. Y'all should have lost. The only two teams I want to see beat y'all are my Nets and Miami Heat. That's it. That's the only two teams I want to see.
Why?
That's it. So I can get these jokes off. That's all. Yeah, when it comes to the Nets, look, the whole thing is that they came into the season, everybody said they're tanking, and they've been playing really hard. As you can see, I remember the time you text me after the one game. You're like, "Yo, are the Nets good?" Like, cause
yeah.
They have a set offense that they run. A team who play hard defensively, and they know who to go to when it comes to offense. I know when you see Cam Thomas hit those outrageous shots, you're just like, "What the heck is going on?" But that's who he is. Like that's
Cam.
That's Cam. That's who he is. Apart from that, like if it needed a little bit more consistency from a couple other players, half the time Ben Simmons is just doing cardio, but that's a whole other thing.
Bro, he's just a shell. He doesn't even try to like do what he used to do.
I look.
Doesn't even try.
We've had the Ben Simmons conversation off podcast many times, and you know how I feel about him. I'm like, I've told you, I was never that big of a fan of his game when he was in
I
Philadelphia.
loved his game. Oh, I loved his game.
I know you loved his game. To me, it was always like, hey, if your game is based, yes, you're a great passer and a great defender, but you not like the whole
He would score, man. He could score like he would drop 20 in games. He dropped 30. Like he would put the ball.
I watched the year when they said when the Nets were facing them when he was on the Sixers, they said it's the Ben Simmons versus Jared Dudley matchup. They said like it was a fair, like they were like Ben Simmons versus Jared Dudley. Like listen, like no disrespect to Jared Dudley.
Right.
But they were saying like, because Jared Dudley was giving him problems. And to me, that was the point. I was like, oh, like you really, the whole thing is like, it's not that the whole thing about him shooting is like, it's not that you can't shoot, you just don't, and it's all in between here. It's all in between.
And he used to. Yeah.
It's a mental thing, and I get it. He's coming back. He's still coming back from injury. He has flashes here and there, but like you said, he's just a shell of himself. Like,
but even the fact that he's not shooting, it's wild to me. I don't want to spend too much time on Ben Simmons, but like he was a phenomenal playmaker, one of the best passers in the league, and he's not even doing that anymore. Like there's times where I'm watching him play, and he's making a nice pass ahead. He'll make the extra pass, and it's the IQ is there, but it's not the same. It's not him leading the break and making things happen. It's not him getting in the paint and making things happen. It's more just I'm in the shell of the offense. I'm gonna make the right pass, and then every once in a while, you'll see what I used to be.
Because the problem is him getting hurt with his back and everything else, going through the injuries. Now his athleticism is not the same as when he got into the league. So now he has flashes where like you see the speed from a 6'9", 6'10" point forward, but it's not the same as it was when he first got in the league, and it was just like straight right at the rim. And then when he draws, he kicks. He still has the vision. He makes some creative passes here and there, but a lot of times you just see teams like sag off, and he's being guarded like he was guarded by your center this whole game, and that was fine. They were comfortable.
They weren't even paying attention on pick and rolls. They weren't even bothering to guard him.
And here's the other thing, by the way, when Tibbs got such a loud voice, I can hear him through the screen, and I could hear the stuff he was saying. There were times when I think Ben was like fake posting. You hear Tibbs yelling like, "Yo, don't help, stay." Stay. And he's letting them know. But again, like you said, I don't want to dive too much.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game between the Knicks and the Nets. It really wasn't that much aside from the fact that as a Knicks fan, I want to see some progress with what's going on. And obviously, it's too early to make like a generalization about this team. Obviously, I wish it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, they got off to a 12-2 start. I'm going to make a very positive generalization. But I have to sit back and be like, okay, they're 500. They win one, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. I don't know what this team is. You don't have Cat, you don't have Deuce. So it's like I don't want to judge them too harshly or I don't want to praise them too much for winning or losing the game. But whenever you blow a 21-point lead, even though you win, you just don't feel good. You don't feel good, and it's very similar to the Sixers reaction we had the other day, where it's just kind of like I'm not impressed. Like, and I shouldn't be like I'm not at the point where I feel like I have to be. Or like I'm not giving them time. I am giving them time. And I think you and I have come to the conclusion, let's get to the All-Star break first, and then we'll evaluate from there. It's just that you get excited. You're like, okay, here we go. We're turning the corner. And then you realize, oh, we're not there yet. So that's where I am as a Knicks fan. Congratulations to you, Kwab. You lose another game. Higher draft pick.
Okay.
Happy for you.
And I'll say this, from the perspective of when we talk about the Knicks, like these type of situations are good for them, because then they know what to do if they end up in another close game. Like Jalen Brunson able to hit a big clutch shot. That's still big. Yeah. And Bridges making a key block at the end of the game. Like these little things matter, like in terms of chemistry and all that. It matters. On the net side, you got lucky, buddy. We're right there. I'm right there. We're in your ass, but I'll see you Sunday. Game
That's
Sunday.
Right. Sunday. All right. Back at it on Sunday. All right, we're going to react to Timberwolves Kings, so we got to go watch it so we know what the hell we're talking about.
Yes,
we'll catch you there. Peace.